What are the economic implications from Ukraine?
Well, I think the direct implication on China probably is the rising commodity price, right? Especially the oil price and the food price. But if you look at the past, usually the transmission from a higher oil price to China's CPI is very limited. I think at this moment, compared to US, US now is facing very high inflation, but in China, last month, China's CPI inflation was only 1% in year-on-year terms. That's too low. So that's why I think at this moment, although the war gonna bring a high commodity price, probably gonna add a bit of pressure on China inflation, but I think at this moment, the top priority for China policymakers is to stimulate the economy. Inflation is not a constraint at all.
Larry, can I ask you very quickly about this notion of China being the factory to the world, because it was something that was tested during the pandemic. We've seen the supply chain disruptions, but a lot of clients, customers have stuck with China because of the low-cost nature and how efficient it has been for many, many years. Does this change at some point if we continue to see lockdowns and further disruptions and the potential to around any tariffs or sanctions at some point around the corner, given relations are not improving with the West? Do you think we are going to see a real change in mentality around supply chains?
Well, I think now it's the testing moment for the resilience of the China supply chain, right? If you look at the past 2 years, China's supply chain hold up very well during the lockdown, because the overall strategy for China lockdown is that it's to safeguard the supply chain, the logistics, but such a strategy hit consumption and property sales a lot. I think at this time probably the same, but again, this time the lockdown is much more widespread compared to the previous COVID waves. So I think that at this moment it's it's another testing moment. But I think overall, I would say that even for this lockdown, I would think that the impact on consumption and the property going to be much bigger than on the production and the logistics, because at this moment we see that in different cities in China they are using production bubbles to safeguard the supply chain.